Hey guys, I'm Derek, and welcome to the Writer's Block. Today I'll be talking to Planet Dolan animators Spinalpalm, Jameshark, and Sweetcommando about the work they do for the channels. In other words, how they turn the scripts into the art and animation that is featured in the videos. For the Red Story scripts, when you get one of those scripts, what is your process in doing the art for them, if you have one? Like, what's like the first thing you do when you get one of those scripts?
I don't know how you guys do it personally, but when I usually do it, I do it in one big flash file, and I'll usually layer the whole MP3 or WAV file down first, and I'll kind of just see how far it's going to be, kind of stretch it out, and just kind of I start spacing out like different shots because I immediately go into like kind of whatever the action is or the character, whatever they're doing in that scene, and then usually just break it up in small pieces for me. I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can have like a 8-minute video in Flash.
Yeah, right, and it's just able to take it because it's not meant for that at all.
Because I'm using Animate, like it's like the newest version, and it's like if I have anything over 20 seconds, like my computer just crashes.
Does it get like really overloaded, that program? Like how much?
Yeah, because I always keep like when I check Task Manager, it just goes up to like 100%. It's just using up all the memory.
Wow.
Whenever I do any editing, that's when it really craps out.
Yeah, I've because like I used to do that because I don't know if you remember, but like during the Newgrounds days, I used to make like an entire like 5-minute videos in Flash in one single timeline. Because I didn't know, because like I wanted to learn After Effects during that time, but it was too complicated for my little brain. Because I was like 13 or something. But that would have been beneficial because I did learn it eventually. So the way I do it now is like basically I've done so many of these. I've been doing this for like 6 years. I basically just made my own like template. So like every time I start a new video, like everything's there for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so
that sounds pretty handy.
saves a lot of time. Yeah, so basically it used to be like, so there's usually 10 scenes, right, in a video. So the way I split it up, I basically just take the recording and just split it up into 10 segments depending on the script or whatever. Right. And then I just basically work in each individual Flash file on each segment, and then in the end, just like, chuck it together in Premiere or whatever.
I think it's such a good idea to chop it up and really do it in segments. Like, I really should adopt that style, and I would encourage anybody listening to who's like in the art and animation field who works like we do. Like, I think that's a way better method than one solid file, because you probably know from personal experience, you're playing with fire when you're working with one big thing in an unstable program that's from a different age.
Yeah, remember, if anyone's using like Flash or Animate, remember to have like incremental saves, like back up every day, because like bad things happen. Like really bad things
saved my ass so much.
For sure.
Yeah, so even if you're a good person, it doesn't really matter. Bad things will happen.
100%. You have to back up. You have to be careful.
Yeah, but so I mean, usually, so in terms of like actually like drawing stuff, I usually just just do the usual like storyboard, see if it's funny or if it like flows well.
Right.
Yeah. So and then just go through it, open up like Photoshop or whatever art program anyone would like you guys use. And just do it there. I used to do it in Flash, but I don't like drawing in Flash. It's really slow. Yeah,
and choppy. Like the line work can be.
Yeah,
I
mean, like
characteristics to it that are appealing, but it's like sometimes Flash can be really hard to work with.
Yeah. I mean, for like Super Planet Dolan and stuff, like that used to that has more animation, so I use Flash for that.
Right.
Yeah, but then for like Planet Dolan, it's just like I want to be able to do like these detailed faces, right? Because just kind of like. It's just what I usually do. So you can't do that in Flash. You have to like, use Photoshop or something and then just chuck it back into Flash and, time it out.
Yeah, chop it up in different things. There are some, it's weird how some programs actually, like I find myself, it's almost easier to draw than it is in other programs. Like Microsoft Paint is, it's a very inefficient program. And I don't even think it comes with like computers anymore. I'm still on Windows 7, like an idiot. But it's a very like just appealing to draw in. It has like a nice flow to it. It just like it's like drawing in butter. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently I haven't used it other than as a joke, but I apparently like the last time I used it, I'm not even sure if it's like some new program or something, but it's actually pretty good. Like the brush is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's like a tiny bit of a fan base on the internet that's still supporting the MS Paint community, even if it is a lot of like sarcastic stuff. There is some amazing people that like. I first got drawn into like using MS Paint because it was like, it was early YouTube, and I would see those videos where it's like crazy speed paints in flat or paint, and it was just like these masterful works where they're using the spray paint tool, and it's like there's no layers in paint, so it's like when you put something down there, it's like, oh, I'm committed to this. It's like a real painting on a canvas. It's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my experience like using it like for real is just like stick figures. But back when I was using like Windows Movie Maker to make like quick animations.
Yeah, it's just like a fun. It's something you can really take seriously, but it's definitely a fun thing to like just mess around in. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, me.
Yeah. I didn't
if
sorry.
If you're talking about MS Paint, I can say that my introduction to animation was through MS Paint.
Yeah, in a way, mine too. I came up with Sonichu, that old the old Sonichu animated series. What was yours?
Oh wow. To begin with, I started animating with like pre-existing sprite characters from like video games. And I used to create the frames individually and then compile into like Windows Movie Maker, which is the worst process ever to making animation.
No, don't worry, I did that too. I did that as well.
But
so it's like early stop motion, kind of.
Yeah, stop motion, pretty much, because I'd be putting in the frames individually.
Oh,
yeah, it was really tedious.
Yeah,
but,
I remember. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it took some patience, but it sort of introduced me to how to create like a sort of a process for animation, and also just like learning how to make things move.
Right, yeah, because you probably see stuff slower and everything. You take it in more.
Yeah,
I could see that.
What were you saying, Sweetcommando?
I was just saying that before, like I used to do animation before like I even had like a computer to do it on. So the way I used to do it, I used to just have like, my mom used to have like a little blackboard that you can just draw on, and I had like a shitty flip phone that had a camera, so I used to just like start a recording and then pause it and like draw the next frame on it.
Yeah.
And if you mess up, you can't just like go back, because I couldn't edit videos back then. I must have been like 7, but like those are the
classics. That's like there's always those classic ways that people get introduced to it that I always like hearing about. Like, did you guys probably did those post-it notes like flip things, or like in sketchbook?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I used to do that in my high school a lot, or with the notebooks and stuff in school. Oh yeah, man, Captain Underpants probably was the original.
Oh my
thing.
God. I used to like rip pages with that.
Yeah, because you get so aggressive. It's like the action scenes.
Yeah,
I'm getting into it.
Damn, I remember that.
In my school library, because like people just like kept tearing the pages out.
Dude, there was one time I was in middle school in a cafeteria. The snot for you, like the nerd turns into like a snot booger man or something in the story for that issue. And my friend took it, and he was doing that like flip-orama part before I got to it, because we were taking turns reading it because I had class, so he was gonna like borrow it. And he started like doing the thing, and I remember as a kid I was so devastated because he ripped out one of the main pages, and I was like, no! It's like cutting out a movie scene in like Endgame.
You're missing out
like a fight scene.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna miss this whole part now. Yeah, literal rip.
No, that's
make the joke.
Oh damn.
Those were fun though. Yeah, no, I had to gush for those for a minute. I love those.
Yeah,
that's all good.
I can't believe I forgot about that until now.
Is he still making stuff? Is that creator still putting out like new what would you call it, properties, I guess?
I remember, so the last one that I read was like Attack of the Purple Party People or something. That was like 2006, right?
Yeah.
And then I was waiting for a sequel, and then I just kind of lost interest. But apparently he released a sequel like probably like 2 years ago or something. Mm-hmm. So that was a huge wait.
Damn.
But I mean, I would still like to read it. It's just like I haven't really thought of it till now.
Right. It's have you guys seen that new modern? So I don't mean to go like too off track from the original topic, but have you guys seen that original? I mean, the new Captain Underpants movie, the 3D CGI one that's like kind of 2D-ish mix.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's interesting to look at. Like it's pure eye candy, and I don't know if anybody else can attest to it, but I was mesmerized the entire time.
Yeah, sadly I haven't seen it yet, but the style does look very faithful, and I do want to eventually get around to seeing it.
I'd recommend it. I know it's like a kids movie and stuff, but it honestly it has its moments where it's pretty good, like as a movie. Animation viewer and fan.
It's the style that they've done for it makes me think of what they did for the Peanuts movie as well that came out recently. Like just
that's right.
Taking how the characters originally looked, but just sort of applying like a modern kind of rendering to it. Like it's cool. I appreciate that they've been doing that.
I think that it allows more like squash and stretch techniques, which are really at its core. I've been watching like a lot of like old classic Looney Tunes and stuff recently, like just in the background, and it's like a lot of that stuff is like very squash and stretch, and it's buoyant and bouncy, and the bones are always bending and stuff. Which a lot of like nowadays in cartoons, it's a lot more stiff. But I love that that very like bouncy, buoyancy and stuff. So I'm kind of a fan. I'm not good at 3D myself, but I can definitely appreciate that style a lot.
Yeah, I really like that they have been doing that more in recent 3D movies. Even Gendy, what's his name? The guy who made Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack.
Is that Tartakovsky?
Yeah, that's his last name. I didn't want to butcher it too much.
Transylvania guy?
Yeah, I've seen like
I think.
a couple of his 3D movies, and like the way that he sort of lets the characters animate in those movies is very like similar to 2D. Like I think it's really cool.
Are you guys are good with 3D? Do you use it a lot?
I'm learning it. I mean, I'd like to make something with it.
Nice, yeah. What have you been working with?
Like what program?
Yeah.
Just Maya. I do want to do Blender because like it's got like everything.
Yeah, and I saw Blender has now. Chris O'Neill was posting how there's like a 2D feature in it now. I wanted to try it out.
Yeah, it's got like I mean, Maya has it as well, and if it's anything like Maya, it's kind of like you basically draw. I mean, it's kind of like obvious, right? You draw it in 3D space, right?
Yeah.
And then you can have like all these crazy camera movements and stuff. But I haven't like what I really like. I want to try it out, but what I really want to know is like what about like how easy is it to like retime stuff and make new keyframes and stuff? Because
in Maya,
it's like everything's basically almost on one layer pretty much, so it's really hard to organize stuff.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like paint in that way almost.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely like more. It's more for frame by frame stuff. Like you can't really tween anything.
Okay, so that's in your wheelhouse then, because that was the way that you came up doing it, right?
Yeah, but it's sometimes it's nice to let the computer do the work for you, especially during like tweening and like just like effects and stuff.
That's why for anybody who wants to get into animation, After Effects is super good for that. I'm still learning it, but I know that you can kind of like puppet animation and like set up like rigs and everything. I painstakingly do like frame by frame too often.
Yeah,
but, like there's so many like fixes
really
and stuff.
confused.
Yeah, I heard a lot of great things
once,
about After Effects.
Yeah, that was the first. I used to like follow like I remember like Jazza had like a huge tutorial series on puppets, and I like followed the whole thing. And it's still like I was just like I don't know, man. Like it's a lot. It's like when you do frame by frame, it's like a lot more. It's like right there, like if you have something in your head and then you just draw it, and then bam, you have like a nice keyframe and you got the idea out. And then with puppets, you have to like go inside the puppet, like draw like unique faces and stuff. I don't know. I haven't done it much.
There's so much I have to learn. If you guys don't mind me asking, where did you? Because I never know nowadays because there's so much information everywhere, and it's like here you can learn this, you can learn this over here. Go to lynda.com. You can go onto YouTube, find or follow.
I went like
where did you go for your information? Did you just play around? Like I know people just kind of mess around in the program sometimes. That's how I learned Flash, but then. Like other times it's good to have like a jumping off point,
Well, aside from like looking up some technical kind of stuff with Flash and After Effects, when it comes to like the animation itself, I'm mainly sort of self-taught myself. But there are like plenty of good resources online for animation as well. I did flip through the Animation Survival Guide written by Richard Williams, which is a really useful book to read for people getting into animation.
Yeah, I recommend that too.
I think more than anything, it just helps to sort of play around with animation yourself and just get a good feel for it because it's mainly stuff that you learn in practice.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it for a while, you just get better at it. It's all about experience. But I used to like, I didn't have like tutorials when I was starting. This must have been like 10 years ago. Because like all the tutorials on YouTube are just like people with notepads and unregistered hypercam and all that.
Yeah, those are the tutorials where I'm like, should I be following these guys or no? It's a little, yeah. You started with rave music and a flashing screen. It's like, I don't know if this is the legit info.
Back then, most of the animation that, I mean, I guess like me and some other people watched were like Newgrounds stuff, right?
Yeah.
And everything on Newgrounds was in the Flash file, so you could actually download the Flash file and like decompile it.
Oh yeah.
How the layering works, and you could like steal sound effects and all that. But but it was really interesting to see like Chris O'Neill, right? You could see he used to do a lot of like puppet stuff with like Leo and Satan, so you could actually like go into that and see how he made it.
Oh damn! Yeah, that must.
Because I used to be like afraid of using layers; it was like so confusing. But I saw he's been using like 100 layers, and I was like, "Oh, I see." So you put like the head and the face on 2 separate layers and stuff.
I should really. It's always good to like touch up on stuff and like look at things. I wonder if I could find like old files and stuff. I just recently. I don't know if you guys ever saw the show Megas XLR on Cartoon Network back in like the early 2003.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like that American mech show.
Yeah, it's interesting because mech shows typically are like a huge, grandiose, like masterfully animated thing, but Megas XLR was like an Americanized version that was completely Americanized in the sense where they had like a super low budget where the cardboard cut or like a the foreground and background move, and then it's just like a superimposed like tech or voice over it. It was just like very simple animation. But I found these what would you call it, like character sheets, I guess, where they have all the references and everything and like what the characters phenomes and mouths look like.
Oh yeah,
like
character sheets
and everything.
Yeah, I think those are character sheets.
Yeah, those are so cool to look up, and like you can really find them for any show. So like for anybody listening too, like I would encourage, if you're interested in this stuff, even to just like look at it. It's really cool to see like the breakup of like different people's techniques and everything. I think that's a great way to learn, actually.
I think for anyone beginning, I think like if anyone
sorry. I'm bad.
It's gonna happen a lot.
Oh no!
Yeah, Sweetcommando, you were saying.
Oh yeah, so oh man, I already forgot. No. Okay, anyway, for anyone beginning, sorry, I had to interrupt myself there, but for anyone beginning, you should like you should understand that there's like different ways to do things. So if you watch like a tutorial on how to do frame by frame, it's most likely very situational on the way you're gonna do it, depending on the shot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't like, because I used to always like basically brute force one technique. Like, I only knew how to do things one way, and I used to like brute force it even if it's not working, because that's just what I knew.
Yeah, that's the stubborn man's way. I find myself doing the same thing, just the harder route, but it's simpler because you're just like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, because I already know, because like I've got like my hands on my keyboard, like I know all the shortcuts just really quick, and then if I do something new, like I really have to like actually like start sweating, turn my brain on. It's really difficult sometimes when you're in the zone.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, but I think if you can find new techniques that make the process of animating a lot faster and easier, it's less hitting yourself over all the like previous times, but you spent ages working on like a certain animation as well. Like I think it's less regret if you can find an easier or a more efficient way of animating like a certain way.
Yeah, it's good to plan as well. Like plan ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, to tie it back into the what
we
started
back
on.
To the
it's all good, dude.
Topic.
Yeah, with a lot of animation and shots, it's just like with film. You kind of want to have, I guess, an idea of each breakdown and what's going to happen, because in the end, it's just going to make it easier for the production of it, whether it's one person or 3 or 10 or whatever.
I'm just surprised you guys do your work from the audio narration. I always saw you receive the scripts that I wrote. Which kind of makes me think the one I worked on this week, I made a note to the illustrators, to you guys, and I'm thinking, okay, when I heard that, and I started to panic because when I heard you guys begin to talk about, when I get the MP3 file of the narrator, I'm thinking, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so if I'm allowed to talk a bit about my process.
Oh, please do.
So when I get the files sent over from Dolan, first thing I will check out is the audio, because that allows me to get the best idea of what I need to animate. So yeah, I'll listen through that, just sort of picturing in my head how the characters could move and like who's going to be saying what. But after that, I will check the script just to see if there's anything that I missed over, because there is like sometimes in the audio there's like these sections of silence where the characters might be performing like these actions and stuff, and that's where I really need to go back through and see what was happening in that section of the script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's not like we don't like refer to the script. I always read through it and also listen to the audio. It just I was talking. I went straight into I went straight into the process after reading as I lay it out. But I do read the scripts. It's not like I'm not checking the script.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
Like, I don't read those scripts. No. I just meant like after reading, and I go into like the program and stuff. I'm so like art brain. I'm just like, oh, this is the art part, and I'm like, but yeah, the writing section. It definitely like comes into play a lot for just like finding like the skeleton of it all.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, oh no, I should. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just like, oh no, I sometimes, albeit rarely, it's a rarity, but I'm like, oh no, I left that. I'll leave those notes sometimes for the illustrators.
No, especially it's all good.
Yeah, well, especially when the script is really long, I kind of try to. It's a way I condense scripts because I don't want them to be too long. I'll take like a description of, say, of someone or something and put it in the margins on the Word document. Right. That way it lessens the word count of the script, and that'll be your notes, though. Okay.
Yeah. I'm also speaking more from the Super Planet Dolan episodes that I've been working more on recently. It's actually been a few years since I've last worked on like a Reddit story as well.
I noticed that, actually.
Yeah, I do enjoy working on those ones too. But I do remember like finding the script a lot more useful for those kind of animations as well.
Well, yeah, in the Reddit story scripts, you do very little to no animation. Whereas in SPD, well, that's a whole new ball game.
Yeah, that's a lot like involved, like because you gotta have all the characters interacting and stuff. You want to have a good amount of like character animation and still displaying all the information and everything.
Right. Oh, definitely.
I think the most interesting part of the process of doing these episodes is also how much it can also change after the voice actors have recorded their audio as well. Because sometimes this is mainly with like Hellbent, but he adds like a lot of his own like interpretations or kind of commentary to the scripts as well. Like there's a lot of stuff that he says which isn't in the original script.
Oh yes, I'm aware.
Hellbent's a funny guy. He's got some good ad-libs.
He does.
Yeah.
Mostly
it always adds like a little bit of personality too. It's like where it's just like, oh yeah, this is like he injects himself here and there, and it's like it's cool to see like when they do that.
Yeah, like another pun from Derek.
Hey, listen, don't knock puns. Puns are I know people like to sleep on them, and I'm not like the biggest advocate, but puns are fun.
Thank you.
I will not say that puns are not fun.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Chris.
Yeah.
No, you gotta get those puns a chance. Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's worth taking the hit.
I can't really do a lot of puns. I can't do any puns now with the Reddit story scripts. I could with the fact countdowns, but not with these. Because I have to, when I create the story, I more edit them, like proofread and everything, rather than actually write. So I really can't do that. But oh well. I try. Try to fit a little something in there, but most of the time I can't. I don't.
Derek, do you ever like with scripts? Do you ever look at like transcripts of other people's like stuff? Recently, that's something I just got into, and I don't know if anybody here like has ever done that. But like recently, I looked at like a breakdown of a Futurama script and everything. It was interesting just like seeing other like because they have those out there now, and I had no idea. It was like a little rabbit hole I went down. And I was like, oh man, I could just like see all like these people's things. Even a stand-up like routine is like scripted now. People just have these like what do they call? I'm an idiot. PDFs. They have PDFs.
Right. It's around. Okay. I know what you mean. And And yeah, I actually have read a few transcripts. It was mostly for research in a story I'm writing, where it's a transcript of a TV show. It's not like your traditional short story format.
Right.
But I haven't read any for any other reason. But I do agree that they are very interesting.
Yeah, I like to see them as like a tool, kind of like the like the animation, like how you just like you see a little behind the scenes of it, I guess, in a way.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
How's your writing going? You have some short stories coming out?
I'm working on one now that's, well, I don't really want to give it away, but let's just say that COVID-19 plays a major role in it.
All right.
I was thinking, this will be the first piece of fiction featuring COVID-19, but part of me is saying, no. People are much faster than you are, Derek. So... Other than that, yeah, nothing really. Just mostly working on Planet Dolan stuff.
Gotcha.
What I was wondering about were those music videos on the SPD channel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one that comes to mind immediately is Jameshark's Dolan Cart.
Yeah, that was the first music video that I worked on.
Oh, it was your first?
Dolan. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was it was one of the first very different animations that I'd done for the channel. Because, yeah, there actually wasn't a script for that animation. So pretty much, yeah, Dolan messaged me saying, oh, do you want to work on a music video? And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. So he sent me over the music file, which his songwriter, I forgot the name of him, sorry.
It's all good, you're good.
Which he already sent over. Because the songwriter... he makes these songs and he asked Dolan if he wants to turn them into like an animation. And Dolan did the song for Dolan Cart, which is basically just about these babies racing around, kind of parodying like Initial D.
Was it Druox? Is that the? I know he works on
Druox.
some of the
That's the name of him. Yeah.
Yeah. That was how I started too. Was I did a couple music videos, and then I went into like the longer scripts. It's fun doing like a music video, like with what you can do with it. You know, well, there's so many ups and downs you could take with it.
Yeah, there's more animation though, so that's probably why you like it so much, right? Like there's more animation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's a fun way because you can really do like a lot of stuff with it, and music is so up to like interpretation. It's how anybody like can see or like envision a certain scene going one way, and that type of music will obviously like influence stuff. So with the Initial D, it's cool seeing like a racing thing. I really like that one a lot actually.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was the first one. That was the first one.
Yeah, that was. I've actually only done 2, so I did Dolan Cart. And the Space Marines one.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I forgot. Remember that one?
Yeah, it's featuring Sweetcommando.
Yeah,
Ori, that's me.
Heyo,
yeah,
that's you.
But even though I said that there isn't really a script involved, I actually do sort of listen to the lyrics and try to sort of match up the actions with what's happening in the song.
All right,
as well.
Yeah.
So it helps give me an idea of what could be happening in the scene. Like in Space Marines, like when the orcs show up, that's when I introduce the orcs into the scene. I kind of, with the chorus as well, I try to have like some kind of reoccurring like actions to keep it consistent as well.
Yeah, for like the certain like beats of the parts, it'll like sync up and stuff. It's always nice like when you have like the interlacing, like there's a story going on, but also the drawings and animation leading up to it is like also hitting like certain cues. Yeah,
for sure. But Dolan Cart was really fun, and I'm still amazed that turned into like a game as well.
I know, that was so cool. I mean, it's your first music video too, and it was so popular that it got turned into a video game. I just think that was so cool.
Yep. Hey. Gotta capitalize on it.
You guys must do a lot, especially with the music videos, do a lot of, I guess, creative licensing. Like, especially if you can't really interpret what the song lyrics are saying, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, I tried not to be too literal as well with what was happening in the song, but you know, just sort of keep a good sort of relationship between the music and the animation.
And Spinalpalm, I remember yours. One of yours was it was with Hellbent. He was dropping things that disappear. So God, I can't remember it now.
Yeah, dropping things and then they disappear. Like everything was going into like a weird. I don't know if, I think we had like a little discussion like what was going to happen in the music video, but for that one it was more like, what do you think is going to happen with like and it was kind of like this own parallel little like dimension hole like in his room that everything was like falling into, is how I was like visualizing it with the music.
Okay. Hence creative licensing. Because I'm sure, I don't remember the song actually covering like, I mean the song just said, you drop things and they disappear. Well, where are they disappearing to? And that's where your creativity comes in as an animator.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Sweetcommando, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to think of a music video you animated. Did you animate any?
The thing is, I haven't made a single one.
Okay, I don't feel so bad then.
But I have, it's funny because every time, like, I mean, I've had like opportunities to work on them, but every time I got asked by Dolan to do it, it's just like something always came up that I couldn't like work like that month or something. Because, you know, I had uni, and before that I had like high school, so that's how long I've been doing this for. Yeah. And I think I did storyboard. I started storyboarding the fruit salad one. I think Chris did that, didn't you? Yeah, they got like
the superheroes.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think that one.
I think
I was actually really excited because that was like the first one I was doing because I don't know in like a while. So I was like kind of excited to do a music video finally. And then I had like this massive uni assignment, so I was like, this is a lot for me. I couldn't do it.
Oh, gotcha.
But it was really interesting to like start planning it out and stuff, because it's very different from what I usually do.
Yeah, and I think the files for that somewhere.
I could check. I don't think I finished the storyboard, but I was having a lot of ideas to like how, like, you know, the composition and the shots and all that.
Right. Yeah. I always like seeing like old, like I have a couple canceled projects and stuff, or like when things have like, you know, gone like on the back burner, and it's like then other things take priority and stuff, or like projects get switched over. It's always like interesting seeing like going back on like old stuff. I don't know if you guys do that. I
like to go into like the scene files for my old stuff. Just see how I did things. Also, I used to draw like a lot of things on the side, and it's still like cool finding them.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like I think is really cool, is like I'll see all these little like scribbles and stuff, just like in like a high school notebook. I would always do that. Like, and when I'm taking notes, I would always have to draw stuff on the borders above the lines and everything, and like on the little like side angles and everything where you would tear the paper out. It was just like a thing. So I guess that kind of transferred me over to like the flash file. Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I usually just sometimes save them as just like a symbol or something, so they're only in the library.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm just like I went back to my Adventure Time cartoon and I was just going through the scenes, and there's like a library just full of like stupid like dick drawings and stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if I go back in some old true stories and Reddit stories, I wonder what I would find in like the little side corners. I think if I ever share these files, I should probably go through them and make sure I don't get cancelled. I think I posted some for the original music video. That was the first one I did for Dolan, actually. Was a CFP CFT. It was another Druox video, music video, and I posted on Twitter like way back when. If someone listening to this cares to like scroll all the way back, like you could see like behind certain symbols and stuff in flash files too. I'll draw a little like face and like a tiny like snotty nose, and it's like no one's ever gonna see it except for me. So it's like it just makes me laugh. You would have no idea.
I remember you showing on Twitter like a face that you hidden behind like Doopy's head, like a really shriveled up face. Yeah,
I think I know what you mean.
Like one of those like Men in Black prawn, but it was I think for one of the scenes it was like the head was layered on a different part, so there was nobody who's gonna see it.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
It's stuff that I wish I'd hid more in like my animations as well, just like little Easter eggs like that. If I ever upload the flash files,
it's like it's for your own amusement, and then like sometimes if like someone's over, you just like feel like it's funny enough to post. I think it's always like a cool little thing to see.
Yeah, it's like having it's like just having jokes with yourself.
Yeah, you just have it's a part of just being fun, I guess, in the creative process. You know, you're entertaining other people, but it's still like you can entertain yourself while doing it, which is like a fun way to always keep things fresh, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see that.
We're still talking about music videos. I don't know where we are now.
Me neither.
I mean, I kind of got into a whole tangent on like the little like side characters and the things that people don't really see. But yeah,
Easter eggs.
I guess in a way we kind of all worked on the music videos, except for the exemption of having the fruit one go like all the way.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, I
about.
was gonna
Fruit
mention-
salad, but no, it's okay. I was
Oh, I was
just gonna
gonna say, like, I don't know, like how like different years would have been, but it's interesting to know that that was like in development. So it's like I never got to see it, so I'm curious though if it was like just floating around. Like I think it would be cool to see.
scroll through the channel. I'm sure you'll find
Yeah,
it.
it's mainly unfinished, but like, if I ever have another chance to do a music video, because I know we're not doing that many anymore, I'd probably like jump right on that.
Yeah, I'd be down to see that. That'd be dope.
Yeah, just right now it's the Q&As
Yeah,
on
and
the
it's
SPD.
also
and
cool
then
seeing
news
the
stories.
music videos that Vim and Ghost Toast have done as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vim's had some great ones. That bread one I thought was so cool.
The bread god is so great.
Oh, yeah. That one with Melissa.
I think that one. I think he did post the flash file in like one of the Dropbox files because I saw it once and I like looked at it and I was like, "This is awesome."
Nice.
It was so sick.
Yeah, because I actually...
Oh, I was just gonna say, and I think this is a really good thing to for anybody who might be listening as like an aspiring animator that's gonna work with Flash, but don't be afraid to use a lot of layers. I was always very stingy and frugal with my layers, and it made things a lot harder. At least in my experience, I think that it can get messy if you have a lot of layers, but it also lends itself to having more moving parts, which is good for just your brain as you're working with like animation.
Yeah. Another thing is, and it's probably not very popular, but you should actually name all your layers. No matter what it is, just name it, because it helps a lot when you're compositing it in After Effects. If you're using After Effects, of course, it helps a lot if you're using if you're doing any kind of post.
Yeah, organization and like the little micromanaging stuff. It's not even that big of like a task to do along the way. So like it was just like it was a second thought to me, but I wish I was doing it sooner. So that would be definitely something I would say for anybody that's looking to take any advice from this to use in the future. I would say that's definitely a good thing to do, is not be stingy with layers and just I guess experiment for yourself and see what works for you. But personally, I didn't know to even do that.
Another thing is like the second you suddenly start working in a team with like at least one other person, you're gonna want to make like everything easy to understand.
Right. Yeah. As you
right now, everyone
you gotta get on the same boat with everything.
Because I know like the majority of people are just working by themselves, but like the second someone else comes in, it's like you're gonna have to like take them into account. It just makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, naming all the symbols and stuff, and I guess mouthpieces or whatever you're using in each flash.
Yeah.
If you're working with other people, you definitely want to not have your layers still named as layer 1 and layer 2 and everything.
I tend to name my layers just like 1, 2, or just like if it's an audio layer, I just do like random. I just mash my keyboard and I just have like my flash files would look like a crazy person if you look at them with all the drawings and the ridiculous stuff I have. That's all extra. Organization is definitely key, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely not my biggest strength, organization.
Yeah, it'd take a while to like make it a habit to like stop and clean up your scene sometimes, because it honestly is really boring and it's a pain in the ass, but you kind of have to do it if you work. Like the bigger your project gets, like the more you're gonna have to do that.
When you guys are writing, where do you guys typically start for like a scene, or like how do you usually set things up?
I mean, I haven't done a lot of writing. The last thing like I wrote was like my YouTube videos, and that was a while back. But I usually just get like, because they're comedies, right?
Right.
So obviously the most important things what I want to do is I want to focus on the jokes. So usually if I have like one good joke in mind, I'd write like everything before and after that, around it.
I get you.
Yeah, and then I mean dialogue usually comes in. It's really weird because if the joke is something that someone says, that's obviously first. But if I want to like bridge some gaps, I just have like temporary dialogue.
Do you think about like the actions in like a scene or like the dialogue first? Is dialogue second for you, or like what do you think? Because I go back and forth with like different projects.
Yeah, it really depends. I actually don't know. It depends on the joke. That's all I've been doing. I've just been doing like funny things. So if the joke is like someone punches someone and it's funny, then that's what I write, right? And then if they say something funny, I just write the dialogue and then like put like if I want them to make a funny face or something, I just like put in brackets like what I envision it.
I'm always like I didn't have like a traditional like I know some people that like went to like film school and stuff, so I don't know like Derek, do you typically focus on like dialogue first, or do you wait to like envision a scene? Like I know this one writer that I grew up with, and he kind of like I've collaborated with him like here and there. Usually, typically, we'll have like a basic scene, or he'll think about what he wants to use, like the elements in something. Like, oh, I want to have like a cityscape and something about like a rooftop where, you know, he'll kind of like block out the idea in his head first, and then I know another person who goes straight into dialogue. So I know everybody has their different things. So I was just seeing if you had a certain way that you typically favor.
Not really. Before I write a story, I basically develop it in my head. I don't use outlines or anything because it constantly changes. So if I feel if I write an outline, it'll just be a waste of time.
Okay.
But in terms of like action or dialogue, or I just write as it. I'll write the setting. I'll write the action and all that. If I need a character to speak, I'll give them a line of dialogue. Yeah, I really don't do like one thing first necessarily. Okay. Yeah. At first, I thought you were asking about like the Red stories. I'm like, no, those are curated. I don't write those.
Yeah, no.
But just a quick note about the Reddit stories. I think I might mention this in a previous episode, so I apologize for repeating myself. But when I curate them, I of course look for good stories, but if a story is mediocre, I will still choose it, but only if it'll still have good visuals. Entertaining, funny, interesting visuals.
Right.
Because,
I like the ones that are very like, like there's like all these like crazy things going on. Although there was one that I did recently. I think it might have just came out, or it will be released soon. But I think that like 3 or 4 of the stories at the very end I thought were really funny because they all involved poop in like some different way. So there was a lot of poop drawings in that one, and it made me laugh while I was working on that one. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could make you laugh.
That was a really good one. And you might even see it if it comes out soon. But some of the drawings I really put like a lot of time into because I just had like a lot of fun working on that one.
Yeah, I sometimes figure, hey, if the story doesn't shine, at least the artist can.
And they say you can't polish a turd.
What's that?
Oh, they say you can't polish
a turd.
Yeah. That's a good point.
None of the stories are turds. They're just they were turd related. But perfectly. Okay, but no, that was a fun one. So I don't know if that came out, but yeah, that should be around whatever time this gets uploaded. How have you guys been doing, like self-motivating in quarantine?
Somehow, somewhat, I guess.
Yeah, about the same, I guess.
Yeah, I know in Australia, like my situation is like way better than a lot of everyone else's overseas, but I don't know. I guess it has been feeling a lot easier to be burnt out recently. Like it's just, there's been a lot of overwhelming stuff, but I feel like in a way work has also kept me going as well. I don't know. It's weird to say. Oh,
dude, I would say that just having work has kept me like sane for sure. Cause it's like, I don't have that many, like I stopped playing games like a little bit ago. Cause I get too addicted and stuff. Like same with shows and stuff. I get on a whole rabbit hole as well. Just watch so many shows at once. So for a while now I've kind of like slowed down on that, so I've kind of I relied on just having work ready, just like constantly working on something just to keep my brain busy.
Yeah, it's definitely good to keep yourself busy and just have like goals every day.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean it's in quarantine, it can be kind of hard to motivate yourself to write something, only because now luckily I have this idea about COVID-19, like I said, so I have my inspiration right there. But the thing, what I'm trying to say is I would have more inspiration whenever I, go outside and experience the world, if you will. And right. I can't do that in quarantine, or at least as much.
Yeah, everything's kind of been closeted and closed off.
Right, exactly. But like I said, I still have ideas and that I'm working on. I don't need to go outside from, so I'm good on the writing area.
I guess it's all ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're gonna be like, like the same thing. It's month 6, and I'm like, all right. Month 4 and like month 3, I was like, all right, I can do this. Now it's like, I think a lot of people didn't realize how long it was gonna take for like all this to kind of work itself out, and it's been going on for a while. It's been a rough time. Yeah, anything you could do, really, I guess, productive wise, is what I think is best. I guess I don't know.
Right.
Part of the exhaustion everyone has from just COVID and quarantine is like the false sense of hope that's being like driven out a lot in media. Like, oh, this will all blow over soon, and it just hasn't. Like, it's now October since March, and we're still experiencing lockdowns and everything. But I think now a lot more people are sort of adapting a lot better as well, like their lives. Like they are sort of trying to fit their lives around, working from home and like not being able to go out as much.
Yeah, actually working from home was like the best thing this year.
Yeah,
I used to, because I worked at
best time for
I
it.
had to go there, and then like one day we got put into lockdown early this year for like 2 weeks. And everyone's just like, all right, just work from home. And it was like the best thing. It's like no different either, because I'm just doing like, just like art stuff and just like animation and all that.
Well, a lot of people I think realize like a lot of jobs can be done from home. So maybe we're getting closer to like that Wall-E-esque like future where we all work from little levitating desks and stuff. Like we'll just have our workstations and they'll just move around the world instead of us going to workstations.
After hearing your processes for animating anything from start to finish, how long does it usually take you guys to complete one episode?
I'm still thinking if you guys want to take this one.
Well, currently, I mean, if I work like part-time on it, probably a week. But I don't really count the hours because it really depends on what's in the scene.
Yeah, it's really like what goes into each thing, because sometimes like more scenes demand more like action or enough stuff, because there's a lot of elements sometimes. At least when I'm doing the Reddit stories, it's a lot of like how much is going on, because if there's multiple characters, if something's going on where it's like you need to really explain what the scene is showing off and everything. But maybe like
also,
a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, also some scenes are like 20 seconds, and then there's scenes that are like 2 minutes long, so that's a huge factor.
Yeah, it can vary a bit for me how long I spend on like an episode, and it depends a bit on like how much I draw. Like, I don't know, in the end it's up to me, but I guess roughly it would be like 2 to 3 weeks, like completely working on it. I don't know, I work on other things as well.
What is it too, if it's like if there's not that much going on, like in like the like outside, like just whatever in real life's going on outside of work, it's like it could be 1 to 2, and like if it's like a lot going on, like I have like relatives or something coming in, or like companies over a little bit that month, it's like maybe it could be like 2-3 weeks. I mean, I guess pre-COVID, before like people would come over, I'm thinking.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I was like, well, I'm sure like a Reddit story script takes less time because, as I said before, there's little to no animation, as opposed to say like an SPD episode Q&A, because there's animation there.
For the Q&As, when I was doing those, because recently I've been doing more so just the stories, because I have with stand-up there's not that much time where I can focus on the full longer episodes or the more in-depth ones. So I've been taking on a lot of the stories. I think it was like about like maybe a month for some of them. For some of the music videos, actually, I feel like I work a bit better with straight ahead. So sometimes with like some of the music videos would only be, I would say like maybe about like 2 weeks maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because even though there's a lot more animation involved in those videos, they are shorter, like only 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing Super Planet Dolan. This must have been like when it started, because I think me and Vim did the first 2 episodes. We had like a 2-week deadline for every video for like a year, and at the time I thought it was like, I think I was working like full-time hours on top of like school and stuff, but I really wanted to get it done because I just like really enjoyed working on it. So back then I just like kind of like really brute forced everything. Like I had to get it done, because it was a job and there was a deadline.
I like that though. That leaves like when you're like on that crunch time too, it leaves like time where you can really like shine and like throw in like bits where you're like, because like when you're working like very frequently, you kind of it's like you don't need too many warm-ups. I don't know if you guys do like warm-ups before you work, but sometimes I'll like just do like some scribbles, even if it's not like figure drawing or something, just like a quick thing to like loosen up. I feel like when you're working so much on a project, it can be like you can because you're already warmed up, you can spend time just putting more detail and stuff into the actual like project itself.
Yeah, I also feel like you're like way less distracted, like you focus on nothing but the project when it's like due soon. Because like back then, like I used to be kind of distracted by like everything, and also had a lot going on like with school and all that. But then there's just those moments where it's just like you just like magically like do it in like 6 hours, and then you like stand back and you're like, holy shit, like I'm actually capable of finishing this in that amount of time.
Yeah.
I wonder what do you guys think the quickest video that you've done is? What was your fastest turnaround rate?
I did a Planet Dolan video, the Reddit one, in like 3 days once.
Whoa, what?
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Because I didn't have uni for like a week, and then I was like, all right, I want to make some money this week, because I usually didn't work during uni, so I just like smashed it out like 10 hours, like 8 to 10 hours a day, just like getting it done while I had free time.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That was very
3 days,
good.
like that's actually really impressive. Like,
yeah, but I wouldn't do that now, just because I feel like if I try it again, it's gonna be noticeable. Like maybe the quality will be shitty or something. But I think I was pretty lucky with that one, because I think it ended up pretty good.
I don't think it always necessarily correlates to like a bad end product with like speed, because sometimes you can just get into a rhythm and it's like you're just like knocking it out of the park sometimes, like especially when you're like really warmed up, like we're saying. It's kind of like if you're like really like hunkered down, it's amazing how like much you can get done sometimes, like if you're really like feeling it and you like got all those the creative juices flowing.
Like doing this for so long, I can just get out of bed every day and just just do it.
Yeah, that's a good discipline to get on. I got to get back on that train. I've been trying to steer myself in quarantine like that, but it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any shame on working something like too fast.
But yeah, definitely don't like rush if it's not necessary. Just like sometimes it just like it comes along that way. But I've definitely had like sometimes I think when you work like really fast on something, and it's not like you're intending to work fast, but it's almost like you like it more. Like it's a bigger, your passion was going into it. Like clearly, if you're working that hard on it, Yeah. Some of the stuff that you might make like in a day or two, it might be like you're more proud of it than something that you work 2 months for or something.
Yeah, because sometimes you're just like so in the zone, and it's just like, you just do it, and you like doing it as well.
Yeah, like
so it works out.
I on my personal like Spinalpalm channel, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have a burglar video, and that one, it doesn't have the most animation, but I did that in like a couple hours in like one day, and that was like probably the thing I'm the most proud of. And when I show anybody like anything that's like my own stuff, I'm like, yeah, just look at this thing. It's like that's the thing I'm happiest with. And I had like this other video, like a Tom Segura, like Your Mom's House podcast animated thing, and that took like 2 years. And it's like I think it looks better, but it's like the end product of the burglar one was so much more fun, and just like it was a burst of creativity as opposed to like a big planned out, like basically the Tom Segura thing was like a drag to make. It took so long because it was always a back burner project where I was in between Dolan episodes, if there was like if I didn't get a script for a few days, maybe I would dedicate like a couple hours to like here and there, like touching up like a background or doing a little lip sync or something.
Nice.
I mean, it all depends, but I just wanted to say that just because I know that people sometimes think that like a quick like process can maybe sometimes indicate like a worsened product, but I don't necessarily think that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely had some episodes for Super Planet Dolan, which I haven't spent as much time on as like others, but those episodes are actually some of my favorite episodes I've done as well. Like I feel like somehow not spending a lot of time on them have sort of really cut to the chase in a lot of them, and how simple they were added to how funny they were as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I have something similar to that. Sometimes when I'm doing like a Planet Dolan thing, like I've already storyboarded it, and then I get up to like a certain shot, and maybe I don't like it the way I did it in the storyboard, so I want to like do a different idea, and then without like really thinking about it, I just differ from the storyboard, and just coming up with something on the spot, it just ends up looking better, or maybe I like it more. It's funnier, it's more spontaneous.
I feel yeah.
Yeah, something I kind of feel guilty of in a lot of my early episodes was maybe over visualizing stuff a bit too much. Just maybe focusing too much on like the visual gag. But in some like of my more recent episodes, I've kind of tuned it back a bit more and let the writing and the voices sort of like be the focus of the humor instead as well. Like not overplay the animation too much.
Right.
Oh yeah, right.
No, I think these are all like I always love hearing people's like different ways and takes of doing things. That's what I was asking, because to me that's always like a cool thing.
It is very interesting. Yes, definitely.
Like even doing something like I love. Actually, I mean, if you love something, like if you have a passion for like art or writing or film or anything, I guess it's cool to see like the behind the scenes. Like one of my favorite things, and I've watched it at least 70 times, is this one for me with the stand-up. Hannibal Buress has this special. It's out on YouTube. It's called Hannibal Goes to Edinburgh, and he goes to like this film festival like tour. Like it just shows like the in and outs and like behind the scenes and stuff you normally don't see. And to me, that's like, as someone who's coming up and like an aspiring person for whatever it is, it's like something that you get to see, and it shows like a little glimpse of like what it's like. It's like inspiring in that way to me.
Cool.
You guys been watching any cool movies? That's the one thing I have watched a little bit of like movies over quarantine. Caught up with like some stuff.
I just have a backlog. I just want to find time some week.
Yeah,
I do miss the theaters. But...
Oh
I
yeah,
went through
theater.
the whole Saw series. Like I went through the whole, like, I guess they have 10-ish now, 9, something like that. Like all the Saw movies. The first one's amazing. I think is a great like actual thriller, and then they become very like gory, and some are kind of have their fair share of schlock, but some of them are pretty cool. I don't know, some of like the inventions and stuff. If you guys have seen them, I think they're like kind of like interesting.
Yeah, I've seen all the Saw movies.
I just number 5 really sticks out to me. I don't know, I like that one a lot. The ones where they like, there's like bad parts where it's like the teammates don't work together. Like you see all the different. That's the best part, is they show so many formulas of like the movie and stuff, and I always think it's cool to see. I want to see what happens, and I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but like on a lot of devices, and this is very specific, but in Saw, there's so many devices, especially later on, where there's like exposed wires, and I'm like, dude, just cut the wires. Why are you even like bothering to do the game?
Right.
But I would like to see maybe in this new Chris Rock Saw movie that keeps getting pushed back. Chris Rock, release your damn Saw movie. This is a message personally. This is a shout out to Chris Rock. Release the movie. Stop pushing it back. I'm tired of. I waited the entire quarantine. Actually, I waited the whole quarantine to see. That was my one thing that I was really looking forward to, and then they took it away from me. So give it back, Chris Rock. Bring it back, because I want to know what happens though if you violate the rules in Saw. I feel like that's something they could still play to, and I think that's an interesting like avenue to take on it. It's like how Jigsaw would handle like cheaters.
Yeah, I love the concept of Saw, but I just feel like I'm a bit too squeamish for like the gore sections of it, unfortunately.
Sometimes they got like really like over the top with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like it sucked me in though with the story, because it's almost like if you watch them in order, it's like a crime show.
It really
there's
is.
So much there's so much behind the scenes going on. It's like a drama in a way. It's like a gory. It's like a super gory drama almost that you'd see on like a HBO nowadays.
Like if they were able to make a goreless cut of Saw, sorry about the pun, I'd be more willing to watch that, I think.
Right.
But I don't know, maybe when I'm older and a bit more like callous, I might check out the Saw series.
I mean, you know, I still can't get over the fact that Chris Rock is appearing in a Saw movie.
Dude, I love that the fact that he was a fan though, like he was just like a big enough fan where he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna make one of these, and they were just like, okay.
Oh really? I never knew he was a fan of it. Oh cool.
So this is something that like I really want to see his take on it, because as someone who's a big fan, like I want to see what a fan's interpretation of it is. So it's like, just give me, I want to see it. That's the.
It feels like there'd be like a
I'm
lot of
excited for it,
and it's not just like a sequel trying to just rake in some money.
Yeah, like a cash grab.
Cash grab kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully it's. I mean, if it takes 2 years to come out now, I swear it better be at least decent. I hope.
Yeah, worth the wait, right?
I had such high hopes. So I would be sorely disappointed.
Well, it is being directed by the same guy who did Saws 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a good sign.
Yeah, but
2, 3, and 4.
That's my Saw tangent. I guess that's all I had to add.
Hey, I like Saw, so you're all good. You're all right. Just really quick, what did you think of Jigsaw? I think that's the most recent. Yeah,
that was it was cool. It wasn't my favorite, but it's like I like the I'm not gonna give away what happens, but I like they have a couple twists and turns in there that are pretty good, and I don't think like any other like episodic part of the story like covered really.
It was a bit of a letdown, I thought.
It has its own moments, but it's like that might have been the one that they might have had the most. What would you call it? Like you run out of ideas for it. It's just like it kind of started to run dry. It became like a little formulaic in a way.
Just kind of reaching for ideas. Like reaching for... I don't think that's the word, though.
If the twists don't get you, then it kind of falls flat. So it's like there's some movies where you can kind of ruin it for yourself if you're like guessing like what's gonna happen. Because that one, after I saw it twice, that one, and like the rest I've seen a couple more times than that. But I like off the first watch, I was like, yeah, I kind of have a feeling where this is gonna go, and it was like some beats were kind of like what you expect and everything.
Right, formulaic.
It's like the typical, formulaic thing. I'm interested to see like a fresh like person taking a whack at it, I guess, with Chris Rock like injecting whatever ideas he has for the series.
Oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's also in Spiral too, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's I think maybe playing his dad, possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But yeah, hopefully I'll see soon. When I tweet this out, I'm going to share this, and then I'm going to @ Chris Rock, and I'm going to say, "Listen all the way, son of a bitch. Give me my movie." Yes. It has to be done. It's done. That's the thing. That's why I'm upset. Is because it's done, and it's been done for a year and a half, and you haven't released it.
Right. I mean, I could understand like you would have to quit filming because of the pandemic, but yeah, dude, it's done.
No, this was ready for release, and then they were like, eh.
Unless they knew that if they released it to the theaters, no one would go see it because of quarantine. Because the theaters are closed. I don't know what's
going to happen with theaters. People say that it's going to close. Red Letter Media is celebrating that the theaters are closing, and I was like, I don't know. There's something nostalgic to me about theaters, and I that was my first job when I was 14. I started working at a movie theater, so they have a special place in my heart, and it's like an experience, going to like a big thing. Give me the movie. I want to see the movie.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing on the side with my one friend that I've met through doing stand-up, but I have a new podcast that I started. It's called Sponsor This, and we kind of just are doing fake ad reads, and it's just it's kind of like improv, and we're just seeing who can one-up each other with the better sponsors and stuff. So it's like a really silly thing that we've been doing on YouTube, and it's under Sponsor This if anybody wants to check it out.
I think you've seen tweets. Didn't you tweet about it?
A couple of clips here and there, yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
You do like a lot of like visuals and audio like edits in between, so it's almost like in a way, I guess, a parody on podcasts, because it's if you see it, you'll kind of get that vibe, I think. But yeah, I if anybody is curious to check out like or see something a little bit different as far as podcasts, comedy podcasts go, I don't know. It's a different cup of tea, so. If anybody wants to try out something weird, that's a weird podcast. If you want to see something different,
check it out.
I'm always checking out new podcasts. I check it out.
All right, word. Yeah, I would love to see what you think.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be listening.
Do it, or I'll do it. Check it out, or I'll go looking for you.
Unless you do.
That's also a message to Chris Rock. I want Chris Rock to check out my podcast too.
Yeah, man.
Right,
please.
Chris Rock, that's your punishment for delaying my Saw movie.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just listen to it. You don't have to do anything special beyond just clicking a link.
Yeah, I mean, you could eat like a hamburger too if you want to like eat food while you listen to. It's like, I mean, you could do whatever while listening, but. I guess preferably food, like dinner and a show. There you go. Dinner and a show. There you go, okay?
Dinner and a podcast. How about that? Come on.
2-for-1 deal.
For one? Alright, I'll take it.
Thank you, Spinalpalm, Jameshark, and Sweetcommando for joining me today. And thank you all for watching. As some of you may already know, this will be the last episode of The Writer's Block. If you would like to know why, please watch my previous video on the topic. Instead of podcasts, I'll be keeping a writing blog, the link to which is in the description box below. Thank you all so much for watching and for all your support. I hope to see you on my new blog. Have a great day, and remember to keep writing.